Good morning, OEM. We can see you. Lauren, are we recording? Are we good to go?
You are good to go.
Amazing. Okay, good morning, everybody. It is a great day to be together and do some brick. This is Chair Lafferty for the record. It is 10 a.m. on July 14th, 2026. Let's open the Nevada Hazard Mitigation Working Group. Lauren or Ella, can you please call the roll?
Lauren Vorst for the record. Heather Lafferty.
Present.
Andrew Trelease. Stephen Acroft. Eric Antle. Salome Barton. D.T. Allen. Tim Hill.
Here.
Sherry Davis. Rich Kohler.
Here.
Thank you, Rich. Don Johnson.
Here.
Thank you, Don. Jackie Conway.
Here.
Jackie.
Here.
Thank you. Sarah Fickner.
Present.
Lisa Nash.
Present.
Matt Williams.
Present.
Heidi Johnson. Laney Perro. Zach McCullough.
Present.
Tammy Kincaid.
Present.
Samantha Laddick.
Here.
You have quorum.
Thank you, Lauren. We will then close agenda item number 1 and move on to agenda item number 2. Agenda item number 2, again, this is Chair Lafferty for the record. This will be public comment for discussion only. This is the first period set aside for public comment. If you would like to make public comment by phone, please call in by dialing 669-219-2599. When you are prompted to enter a meeting ID, please enter 202-331-8963 and press pound. When prompted for a participant ID, please press pound. When asked to provide a public comment, please press *6 to unmute yourself and *6 again when your comments are complete. Again, if you would like to make public comment by phone, please call in by dialing 669-219-2599. And when you are prompted to enter a meeting ID, please enter 202-331-8963 and press pound. When prompted for participant ID, please press pound. When asked to provide public comment, please press *6 to unmute yourself and *6 again when your comments are complete. In order to give people time to call in, let's start with members on the Zoom platform. Does anyone have a public comment on Zoom? Okay, hearing none. Let's move on to the phone. Is there anyone on the phone that would like to make public comment? Please press *6 to unmute yourself and make your public comment, and *6 when your comments are complete.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. You know what? We clicked on another link. We're sitting there waiting. We're like, where is this meeting? Okay, sorry. We're here.
Okay, welcome. Is this City of Las Vegas?
City of North Las Vegas.
North Las Vegas. Oh, there you are. Okay. Well, hi, Salome. I was like, there you are. Okay. Yes, thank you, Salome. Yeah, no worries. Okay, without hearing any further public comment, I will close agenda item number 2, and we will move on to agenda item number 3. Agenda item number 3, again, this is Chair Lafferty for the record. This is approval of minutes from our May 5th, 2026 meeting. This is for discussion, possible action. Would anyone like to discuss the minutes? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from May 5th, 2022.
Salome Barton, motion to approve.
Thank you, Salome. Do I have a second?
Lisa Nash, second.
Thank you, Lisa. We have a first from Salome and a second from Lisa. Let's take a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes from May 5th, 2026, please say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed, please say nay. Okay, motion passes unanimously. I will close out agenda item number 3, and we will move on to agenda item number 4. Agenda item number 4 is an overview of the Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities BRIC program and introductions of ranking instructions for applicants. This will be for discussion only. And I will share my screen just real quick while we get started here. And let me pull up this PowerPoint for us. Just so we have this as reference as we get into this agenda item. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank all the members and agency representatives and members of the public for being here today, and all of our applicants. Our applicants worked extremely hard on their applications, and we have some really great projects for BRIC this year. Before we begin our proposal review, I like to have just a brief overview of the Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities program, often referred to as BRIC, and the various funding streams each member will vote and rank under. The BRIC program is a FEMA grant initiative that supports state, local governments, tribes, and territories in developing and implementing proactive hazard mitigation projects. Its focus is on reducing long-term risk from natural disasters by funding initiatives, innovative, cost-effective, and resilient infrastructure solutions. So for this fiscal year, this is for fiscal year 24 and 25, we're doing this all together because of the way the federal pause works. There are 3 funding streams. We have the state allocation, the national competition, and the Building Code Plus Up. For the Nevada Office of Emergency Management state allocation, the set aside is $2 million, including the state 5% management cost. The 5% management cost equates to $100,000, which means that the total sub-applicant projects must not exceed the $1.9 million in federal request. The state will rank proposed sub-applicants from highest to lowest, highest number 1 to lowest. And in the event that the highest ranking project or combined amount of sub-applications exceed 1.9 million in federal funds, the project ranked lowest or any single project that exceeds this amount will be asked to reduce their budget to fit within the cap, or asked to have the application be considered in the national competition, for which all applications are eligible. So kind of just to sum this up in plain language, we are submitting every application that was submitted to us. We have reviewed every application that we are going to be voting and ranking today, and Zach and I believe all of the applications meet the intent of the NOFO and are good projects. And so we want to submit them to FEMA, of course, for their review. And that will be up to FEMA, but it is required that we rank and vote. So even if there's only one application, FEMA still requires that we have an official rank and voting, and we've all approved these applications. So, just kind of keep that in mind. All applications are going to get submitted. We definitely want to make sure, though, that we do have that $2 million state set aside, and the projects in there, if we can get all 3 projects into the state set aside, that money is guaranteed. And so those projects have a much better chance than, you know, the larger projects that have to enter the national competition and go against, you know, like projects in the hurricane states and stuff like that. So I did just want to kind of recap that, just to let you know, all projects are going to be submitted. We're just kind of ranking and voting and seeing which funding stream, confirming which stream they're going to be in. For the national competition stream, all sub-application projects are capped at 20 million. All proposed projects will be ranked separately from the state allocation and will also be reviewed and ranked by FEMA. And so kind of what that means is we're going to suggest to FEMA how we rank and prioritize the national competition applicants. FEMA also has its own ranking. It does take our ranking into consideration, but there's a lot more that goes into how they rank the national competition applications. So just kind of bear that in mind. Our national competition application, though, is very, very strong, and we are very excited about it. For the Building Code Plus Up, there is a 1 million cap for sub-applications and proposals under this stream. None of the proposals under Building Code Plus Up are eligible for the national competition. That's just how FEMA has it in the NOFO. These proposals will be ranked from 1 to lowest separately from the state and the national. There are 5 projects that will be ranked, 3 under the state set aside, 1 under the national competition, and 1 under the Building Code Plus Up. Each agency representative will have 5 minutes to present their proposal to the working group. After all 5 presentations have been completed, the voting members will refer to the ranking sheets provided to evaluate each project. Voting members, please remember that your ranking should reflect how well each proposal aligns with the criteria outlined in the ranking guide and the NOFO's intent of building and supporting infrastructure and the hardening of infrastructure. Please reference the ranking guide for presentations and for when you fill out or when we're calling for ranking during the ranking portion. For the state set-aside ranking of 1 represents the highest priority and ranking of 3 represents the lowest priority. Since there is only 1 project in the Building Code Plus Up and national competition as of right now, we ask the members rank them 1 representing the most favorable and 0 being the least favorable. When each project and their representative and their respective funding stream is announced, we ask that the members open and fill out that ranking form, or you can also, you know, use a scratch paper, however you want to do it. That ranking form is just for your reference, and we will be calling the ranking live, so we will have the official ranking sheet that we will be completing on our end. And once ranking is completed, just remember we'll be ranking within the meeting and all rankings have been set. We will ask the members to brief out their score. And then once we have the scores, we will officially confirm with the vote. So that's just a kind of overview of how ranking and voting go. We're going to repeat some of these instructions as we go. I promise. I know that was a lot of words. But before we got into presentations, I did just want to give you an overview of how this will go. So while you're, you know, seeing the presentations, you can kind of keep that in mind. This concludes our BRIC program overview. Before we go to agenda item number 5, are there any questions before we move forward? Because I know we did just cover kind of a lot.
This is Rich Kaler. I have one question. So the ranking, you said 1 is highest favorable and 0 is least favorable. What?
Yeah. So in the national competition, as an example, Rich, this is Heather Lafferty again for the record. There's only 1 option, right? So we'll be ranking for 1, and the same with the Building Code Plus Up. However, we do have to provide the option of 0, which is you don't think this project meets the intent of the NOFO or is a good project. So in theory, you could vote 0 and not rank in, which is you do not support this project. However, you know, we have reviewed all of the projects and they'll be submitted, but we did want to give voting members that chance as well. So that ranking can be reflected to FEMA on the end as they're doing their ranking of the national competition. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's basically we just are saying, yes, we think it should go
Yes,
forward or
we
no.
agree. We agree that this application should be, yes, that's all we're doing. Yes, this is,
All right.
and this is just required by FEMA. So I know this seems a little, you know, hopefully not too tick-tacky, but this is just kind of the government process that has to happen so that when our national competition project gets there, FEMA understands we support it and that helps it with its ranking within how they rank the national competition, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so we're not really ranking each proposal against each other as far as a ranking system, like which one's better than the other, but it's just
For the national competition and the building code plus up, it'll just be yes. For the state territory, we will have 3 projects that we will rank 1 through 3 based on what's your first priority, second priority, and third.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll go over all of this again, like once we get to the ranking portion. So hopefully that made sense.
Okay.
Thanks, Richard. And then do you have any other questions before we close out this agenda item? No? Okay. Awesome. I will close out agenda item number 4 and move on to agenda item number 5. Agenda item number 5, brick project presentations. This is for discussion only. Chair Lafferty, again for the record, OEM Homeland Security State Hazard Mitigation Officer or her designee are going to invite our representatives and our sub-applicants to present an overview of their application to the working group. Presentations will be limited to 5 minutes per application. We will now, let me see here. 1 second. Again, there are 5 projects that will be ranked as we review these presentations, 3 under state set aside, 1 under the national competition, and 1 under the building code plus up. Each agency representative will have 5 minutes to present their proposal to the working group. And after all 5 presentations have been completed, the voting members will refer to the ranking sheets provided to evaluate each project. Again, voting members, please remember that your ranking should reflect how each proposal aligns with the criteria in support of infrastructure and infrastructure hardening. And please reference the ranking guide for any questions. Since there's only 1 project under the building code plus up and national competition, again, we ask that members rank them 1 for most favorable. As previously discussed, all projects will be ranked and voted on within this meeting. So once the presentations are finished, we will ask the members to report out and score their projects for their designated funding stream. As a reminder, we will be doing this. We will just be calling out these rankings. And so I know during post-fire, we had you submit your rankings back to us. I think that was a little overkill and confusing. And so we are just going to be doing ranking in the public meeting, and there is nothing you're going to have to submit to us on the back end. So as we're just kind of working out some of these kinks as we go through this grant cycle here. So with that said, let's kick off the presentations. We will start with Washoe County's Urban Avalanche Atlas, which will fall under the state set-aside allocation. Let me stop sharing. And do I have the representative from Washoe online?
Yes, you do. Sabrina Braswell, for the record, Washoe County Emergency Management.
Hi, good morning, Sabrina. Would you like to share the presentation? Or would you like
Sure.
me to? Okay, excellent.
Hang on 1 second and let me see if it will cooperate. I apologize, I did not have it pulled up. I had some supportive documentation pulled up instead, so give me 1 moment.
And if it won't pull up, Sabrina, I'm happy to also share.
Okay, I do have it. Let me see if I am able to share my screen. All right, I am sharing. Am I successfully sharing?
Yes, we can see it.
Spectacular. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and begin. For the record, my name is Sabrina Braswell. I am a mitigation program coordinator here with Washoe County Emergency Management. And today I would like to present to you our request for the BRIC application to fund an urban avalanche atlas. The project overview, a little bit background. What's the purpose? We'd like to develop a comprehensive urban avalanche atlas for identified risk zones in Washoe County. These include Third Creek, Crystal Bay, Sand Harbor, and Mount Rose Highway, also known as State Route 431. The goal is to provide a standardized data-supported reference that will allow us to support risk identification, which in turn will protect residents, recreationalists, and critical infrastructure. Now you may be asking, what is an urban avalanche atlas? So it is a structured technical reference that maps known and potential avalanche paths along with key terrain and historical activity data. So it compiles all of these and gathers historical and information, current information specific to elevation profiles, slope angles, runout zones, etc., and puts them into a standard format, making it easy to understand terrain and where avalanche danger exists. For those unfamiliar, Washoe County is one of the few areas, specifically in North America, that includes areas of urban avalanche concern, meaning backcountry triggered avalanches roll into urban areas with residential structures and critical infrastructure. So the problem and the need, like I stated, there are several areas of urban avalanche risk, and we are unique in the fact that we have urban avalanche risk. Current data and mapping is, to say it kindly, inconsistent, incomplete, and outdated. This has been something we've known has been needed for a while, but was specifically called out in our 2023 Washoe County Avalanche Analysis Report done by a private firm, as well as our 2025 Washoe County Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan. This is an action item for several of the agencies, one of which being Washoe County Emergency Management, partnered with North Lake Tahoe Fire Protection District as they are the responding agency for the areas of impact. This also will serve us in the future for growing operational need for information for zoning maps, both avalanche and developmental zoning maps, future safety and developmental planning, as well as mitigation and future forecasting opportunities. The infrastructure lifeline impact is 3 specifically. We have water systems. In 1986, there was a Third Creek avalanche that's in the Incline Village area that damaged an Incline Village General Improvement District water tank reservoir. We also have transportation. That same avalanche came within feet of the highway. Mount Rose Highway State Route 431 is one of only 3 ingress and egress routes for citizens in that area. So very important to keep that maintained and shored up. And then safety and security. North Lake Tahoe Fire Protection District Station number 13 was within feet as well of being impacted by that 1986 Third Creek avalanche and still remains within that flow. So the project scope and deliverables, this is what we currently have off to the right-hand side. And as you can tell, as I mentioned, it's a tad outdated and a little archaic. So it would be to map all avalanche paths with elevation, slope, runout, historical activity, produce high-resolution images for each path that will have the start zone, the track, and the runout area. They will gather information and standardize it into a consistent format so we can have this long-term for operational use, specifically mitigation and things we talked about previously. And we'll also create the user-friendly compatibility so we can interact with our county GIS with planning, forecasting, and stakeholder communication. Again, I offer you a visual of what we currently have to drive home the timeline of 8 months, the estimated cost of $100,000, and the match coming from our employee salary time. And as you can tell, it's archaic at best. It aligns with BRIC, and the benefits for the community are that it prioritizes risk reduction and lifeline protection, as I outlined previously. It supports data-driven mitigation planning and moving forward responsibly. It enhances public safety and emergency response. It will allow us to improve future zoning and mitigation efforts and investment, and continues to build long-term operational capabilities. Thank you.
Man, that was 5 minutes exactly. Great job, Sabrina. Nailed it. Okay. Thank you so much, Sabrina. We appreciate that presentation on behalf of Washoe County. And I will give you the floor again for
Oh.
Washoe County's code enforcement project, which will be ranked under the Building Code Plus Up. This is our only application for the Building Code Plus Up.
Okay, allow me to pull that one up. 1 second, please.
Okay, we will be standing by.
Okay. Please let me know if this successfully shares as well.
Okay, and we can see it.
Superb. Well, then again, I'm going to try to speak fast but efficiently to nail my 5-minute time frame. So if I speak too fast, please slow me down. Again, Sabrina Braswell, Washoe County Emergency Management Program Coordinator with a focus on mitigation for the record. I would like to switch lenses and now talk to you about, ta-da, Unreinforced Masonry Code Project. As mentioned, we are a candidate in the Building Code Plus Up category for this specific opportunity. Now again, you may ask yourself, what is unreinforced masonry? Well, it is a term for structures that do not have the steel to reinforce masonry walls. If you look on the right-hand side, you'll notice that unreinforced masonry is just stacked brick, and then reinforced masonry has what we typically know to be rebar put into it as it is being built, and it's also typically attached between the walls and the roof itself. So the load-bearing walls are not reinforced. So what makes these of concern? Because of that lack of reinforcement, these are eligible for severe and hazardous consequences in the opportunity of an earthquake in the area. The poor mortar, the roof-to-wall ties, and that reinforcement that we spoke about makes them very susceptible to extreme damage. So what is the purpose of this program? We'd like to inform and educate Washoe County property owners about unreinforced masonry and advance mitigation efforts countywide. At present, we have 3,500 known unreinforced masonry buildings that are highly vulnerable to earthquakes and life safety hazards. These have been identified through work with our Washoe County GIS team using assessor data with all the ages that would have potential for unreinforced masonry, and then further refined by our community services department looking at specific wall types. So this is done with a lot of thought and careful planning. These are our mapped concentrations. On the left-hand side, you can see a zoomed out, not full county, but most of the county approach. And then more zoomed in, you can see the large concentrations within downtown Reno, northeast Reno, Sparks West, and Sun Valley. Any icon that has the black circle with the yellow home, that is one single property that is impacted by the potential of unreinforced masonry. Hazard and lifeline impact. As we all know, earthquakes will impact each and every single one of our lifelines. Most importantly, in the context that we were considering, was safety and security. The images that you just saw are from our Washoe County regional mapping system and a layer that was created so that if there is an earthquake, we can easily identify potentially impacted homes and send first responders that information so that when they are accessing buildings or surveying scenes post-earthquake, they can have the most up-to-date information about their safety in the buildings they would be accessing, but we don't want to be remiss in recognizing that they would impact all of the lifelines. Project scope and deliverables. First off, we need to notify property owners of unreinforced masonry status and their seismic risks. We'd like to develop educational materials, including but not limited to storyboards, mailers, door hangers, public service announcements, and billboards. We'd like to host community workshops to increase awareness and to contribute to voluntary safety improvements. We also want to do a comprehensive public outreach campaign over a period of 6 months. Timeline, cost, and match. Timeline is going to be 7 months. Our estimated cost is $15,000. And again, we have the opportunity to match with employee salary time. Brick alignment and community benefits strengthens building code enforcement capacity, again supporting seismic risk reduction for vulnerable structures. We've been doing this on a large scale for public buildings, and now it's time to really hit home the homeowners and small businesses and things of that nature. We also want to improve community safety and resilience, especially with a lot of these areas being at-risk neighborhoods, socioeconomically disadvantaged, etc. So this is an opportunity opportunity to really engage the community that doesn't know about their risk and doesn't know what to do about it once they're informed. So that's really what we're driving home, that public awareness and education. And then we'll also use this to our advantage for mitigation decision-making capabilities. Thank you again.
Thank you, Sabrina. That was a powerhouse of presentations. And before I open it up for questions, I do just want to say I particularly appreciated, as a Gen Xer, your Simpsons reference, because I also have a little Simpson desk treasure at all times. So thank you very much. And I will now open the for questions. Do any of the members have questions for Sabrina about either her Washoe County Urban Avalanche Atlas, which again is under the state set aside, or for Washoe County's code enforcement, which is under the Building Code Plus Up?
This is Rich Kaler. I had a question about the Avalanche Atlas. You mentioned in the proposal using academic partners. So I was just curious, if this gets moved forward, then there's going to be some kind of RFP. Is that correct? And then you'll decide who's going to actually do this work?
Correct. Unfortunately, Sabrina Braswell for the record again, unfortunately, there's a very limited amount of vendors for this. We had a 2023 analysis done that suggested an atlas be created. So we reached out previous to creation of the BRIC application to find out how many agencies can feasibly do this. And there were only a small number that are capable of doing the field research, the information gathering. That's how we were also able to get the cost estimate by doing a little bit of a query. So yes, there will be, but there is a very small pool and highly likely to be refined to just one or two potential vendors because of capability limitations for what we need.
Okay, that sounds good. I mean, here at the Nevada Bureau of Mines and Geology, we have we're working on a statewide avalanche and debris flow inventory, and I'm just curious if there's any overlap there. You know, we have various expertise working on sort of a similar thing, but you know, in other areas of the state. So I guess that just put that in your notebook for maybe down the line here. There's people like Scott McCoy and some graduate students that are doing some pretty intense DEM analysis to pick out debris flows and avalanche paths. Maybe potentially useful down the line.
Yeah, thank you, Sabrina Braswell, for the record again. I really appreciate that, but I definitely would love to have that as a resource to contribute. We are looking, I think, probably more specifically for that urban interface area, which is what allows us to really refine this into the tool that we need it to be. But I would absolutely love to have any and all contributions to make that as robust as we can. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Sabrina. Do we have any other questions for Washoe County? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Sabrina, again. Both those applications, we appreciated them. And we're excited they get to be submitted for BRIC. We will now hand it off to Truckee River Flood Management Authority for their Vista Narrows floodplain terracing project for the Truckee River Flood Hazard Mitigation Project. This is our national competition application. And so do I have a representative from Truckee River Flood Management?
Yes, you do.
Hi, George. Thank you. George, if you want to just state your name for the record for me, and then I will turn it over to you, and you will have 5 minutes to present about your project, and we're very excited to hear about it.
All right. My name is George Robeson. I am the Executive Director of the Truckee River Flood Management Authority. And if you would, I'd prefer that you would do it so that I am not trying to bring this up and everything. I think you guys would have that. I know I sent that talk to you, so you can go ahead. See, you're so fast.
We'll get it up for you right now, George.
Okay.
Thank you, Zach. And then,
so without further ado, should I go ahead and start?
yes, let's go ahead and start.
Okay.
We'll start right now.
All right. All right. So once again, this is for a kind of our key construction project, our foundational construction project for the Truckee Meadows Flood Management Project. And this is Vista Narrows. This is Vista Narrows. Next slide, please. Vista Narrows is down on the east side of Sparks, right as you go into the Truckee River Canyon. And it is part of what we call the Truckee Meadows Flood Project, which is from the freeway, the I-580 freeway bridge downstream to Vista Narrows. And there are actually three terraces there. We're only showing the top one because the map would be real much longer. But the point of this is this comprehensive project that costs about $200 to $220 million has the potential to protect from a flood that can do about $2.5 billion of damage. There have been actual very comprehensive benefit cost studies and economic analyses and damage studies done on this reach for very similar studies or very similar projects as this. And so this larger project is the Truckee Meadows Flood Project, but the Vista Narrows Project, its particular role is to lower the water level because we will lose a lot of ability to store water, and that actually makes the peak flow higher and the water level higher. So the whole reason for Vista is to keep the water level lower. Next slide, please. So this is what the overall project does. Everything in green comes out. That would be the Sparks industrial area. That would be the airport. That would be GSR. That would be the Reno industrial area to the south on that in green. And that's where this over $2 billion of damage would go away during a very large flood like the 1997 flood, like the 2005 flood. Like the floods in the 1950s, like the flood of 1986. You can see this is a recurring flood that happens, and we want to get a hold of this before the next one comes so that we don't have to experience this damage and this economic hit that it does to the area once we have floods. People lose jobs, people lose homes, people lose businesses. So we are trying to harden the infrastructure, a BRIC objective, using flood wall, using levees, using terracing, and other revetments and other structure to make this a secure system. Next slide, please. So Vista Narrows in particular is part of this larger flood project. It needs to be done first because it provides the mitigation, lowers the water level to compensate for the loss of flood storage and the rising water level, because there is no more flood storage. There's no more water on the runway. There's no more water in the industrial area. So the idea about spreading out flow at Vista has been around at least since the year 2000. However, serious design for Vista Narrows did not begin to the spring of 2018, and it culminated in a 65% design in 2019. We are currently working on the final design right now. It was originally thought to be part of an authorized project in the locally preferred plan. That plan was rejected by the Corps. We subsequently rejected their plan because it didn't have Vista Narrows, and the mitigation would be too expensive, and it just did not work. So we decided to have a friendly divorce, and we had a word of bill signed, Water Resources Development Act, signed in January of 2025. That accomplished the deauthorization. Next slide, please. So the Vista Narrows key goals, I'm just going to read the red ones because I'm running out of time. Provide upstream water surface reduction, as I mentioned. And we also have downstream mitigation as part of this project with the Pyramid Lake Paiute tribe, with others, to fully mitigate any kind of change in the water level downstream from the overall project, not just Vista Narrows. Next slide, please. So why does this come first? To show you, with Vista Narrows, everything in green is a slight water level reduction, so a no rise. So therefore, we don't have to do any mitigation in Hidden Valley, Donner Springs, UNR Farms, any of those areas. Next slide, please. So the Vista Narrows, this is just a very quick thing about the conditions of it. What we're doing, we're taking off terracing for this project and lowering it. Next slide, please.
Your time's up, sir.
Okay, all right. Well, anyways, last little word, this does meet brick guidelines for hardening, and it is a critical part of the overall project. Thanks.
Thank you, George. We really appreciate that. That was a great presentation. And this is a really great project that's going to do a lot of good for the community. And so we're excited this is being submitted under the national competition. Do we have any questions? Do any of the members have any questions for George about our sole national competition application? No? Okay, great. Well, again, thank you, George. We will now hand it over to the city of Henderson for their presentation on the resilience, the
Sir.
regional.
Sir,
Oh, go ahead.
Sabrina had a question.
Oh, sorry, Sabrina. I did not see your hand raised. Sabrina, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Sabrina Braswell, for the record. I didn't know since you said members, I just wanted to make sure that I was officially a member, could ask George a question. For clarification, does that math include the recent impacts on the bridges based on the what we affectionately call the 2026 Hidden Valley flooding, but the impact that was felt in that area with that flood event?
No, it doesn't include that. However, Vista Narrows, to get that cleaned up and all in shape, that'd be part of the construction. We're opening up those terraces, and there is a separate thing we're doing on the river.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Thank you for approaching the chair and for that question, Sabrina. And thank you again, George, for that presentation. Do we have any other questions? Okay, hearing none, we will now hand it off to the city of Henderson for their presentation on the Regional Power Resilience Hub, which will be applied under the state set aside voting and ranking and application for the BRIC. Do I have the representative for the city of Henderson here?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good morning, Christy. I will turn it over to you. You will have 5 minutes to present about the Regional Power Resilience Hub. And if you could just identify yourself for the record.
Absolutely. Christy Ciccatelli from the City of Henderson Department of Emergency Management. It is a pleasure to share the virtual stage with some wonderful projects to strengthen our state. And thank you, Chair Lafferty, for this moment. I do want to recognize and express appreciation to Stacy from our Finance Department and Brad from our Public Works Facilities Department, who are also on the call and will be available to answer any questions regarding their specific contributions to this application. As stated, our project is a regional power resilience hub. So this project will address the life safety risks caused by extended power outages due to extreme heat and severe wind events. To reduce these risks, Henderson is seeking funding to upgrade 3 existing municipal facilities, which will operate as emergency shelter and cooling centers during outages. Those facilities are Heritage Park Senior Facility, Downtown Recreation Center, and Henderson Multi-Generational Center. The primary focus of the project is to establish reliable, redundant backup power across all 3 of those sites. The project area includes approximately 47,000 residents with a focus on the 89015 and 89012 zip codes. These areas include a significant number of vulnerable residents, including seniors who make up more than 20% of that population, as well as low to moderate income households. The total cost of the project is $1,545,000, with the 75% requested through the funding at $1,158,750, with a $386,250 25% match secured through municipal bonds. The purchase will include 2 mobile generators, the site upgrade such as quick connect docking stations, manual transfer switches, reinforced concrete pads, and underground conduit improvements. The 2 generators will be shareable across all 3 sites. In terms of project readiness, This project is already well advanced with design work approximately 90% complete, meaning it includes detailed drawings and specifications that are suitable for bidding, permitting, and actual construction. These site-specific electrical plans, these site-specific electrical plans and bid-ready specifications are already signed and stamped by a licensed professional engineer as well. So this effort directly supports the 2024 Clark County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan by addressing both excessive heat and severe wind hazards. It also advances that plan Goal 1 in life safety and Goal 4 in property protection. So by ensuring these facilities remain operational during times of outages, this project helps maintain essential community lifelines, including shelter, cooling, lighting, and refrigeration for medications and food. The City of Henderson will take full responsibility for all long-term maintenance and operational upkeep of the Regional Power Resilience Hub following the completion of the project. As the owner and operator of the facilities, the city will assume full responsibility for routine inspections, equipment servicing, fuel management, testing, replacement of parts, and any necessary repairs to maintain the system in a state of readiness. The city does estimate that the total ongoing maintenance cost will be approximately $7,000, which the city has committed to absorbing through its existing operational budget structure. This guarantees that the project remains functional, reliable, and available for emergency use over the useful life of the improvements. All data sources used for this proposal have been submitted with the grant application, but any questions we can answer now. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. That was a great presentation. And this is a great project. We're excited to have it under the state set aside. Does anybody have any questions for the City of Henderson?
Hi, Chair. This is Ryan Turner. Can I say something?
Absolutely. You may approach the chair, Ryan Turner. Go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to say to thank you to you and to your staff and to the entire committee for all your help with this application. We just really appreciate all the work that you've assisted us with. And thank you for allowing us to present today, and great job to Christy.
Thank you, Ryan. We deeply appreciate that. And it was a joy getting to work with your team. So thank you very much. Okay, hearing no further questions, we will move to our last presentation. Last but certainly not least, we have the City of North Las Vegas and their emergency shelter standby generator project under the state set aside. I will turn this over to the City of North Las Vegas. Do I have a representative from the City of North Las Vegas?
Yeah, this is Scott Crete, Infrastructure Manager. I'll be doing the presentation.
Hello, and thank you, Scott. I will turn it over to you. You will have 5 minutes. And again, just for the record, go ahead and identify yourself and you can begin.
Yeah, Scott Crete, Infrastructure Manager here at City of North Las Vegas. And I'll be presenting on the City of North Las Vegas Emergency Shelter Standby Generator Project. North Las Vegas is one of the fastest growing municipalities in Nevada with a population of more than 300,000 residents and continued residential, commercial, industrial development. The city's population is diverse and includes families, seniors, veterans, individuals with disabilities, low and moderate income households, and residents with access and functional needs who may require additional assistance during emergencies. The Silver Mesa Recreation Center is a vital community asset that provides recreational programming, community events, educational activities, and public gathering space throughout the year. During emergencies, however, the facility serves as an even more critical role as a location that can provide temporary shelter, cooling and warming space, charging stations for communication devices and medical equipment, access to emergency information, and coordination of response and recovery services. Power outages resulting from extreme heat, severe weather, utility infrastructure failures, or other disasters can disproportionately affect vulnerable populations, older adults, individuals with chronic medical conditions, residents who rely on electrically powered medical devices, young children, and households without power face increased health and safety risks during prolonged outages. During periods of extreme heat, which are becoming more frequent and severe in southern Nevada, the loss of air conditioning can quickly create life-threatening conditions for these populations. Although Although the standby generator will be installed at a single facility, the project benefits the entire community by increasing the city's emergency shelter capacity and strengthening its disaster response capabilities. Maintaining continuous operations at the Silver Mesa Recreation Center provides emergency managers with a reliable location to support displaced residents, distribute emergency resources, coordinate community services, and provide a safe refuge during disasters. The project enhances the resiliency of North Las Vegas as a whole by ensuring that at least one strategically located community facility remains operational when commercial power is unavailable. The city of North Las Vegas proposes to design, procure, and install a permanent standby emergency generator at the Silver Mesa Recreation Center to provide reliable emergency power during utility outages and disaster events. The project is intended to ensure the facility remains operational as an emergency shelter and community resilience hub when commercial electrical service is disrupted. The scope of work includes all engineering design services necessary to determine generator sizing, electrical load, site layout, fuel requirements, and integration with existing electrical infrastructure. The project also includes environmental and permitting requirements, procurement of the standby generator and associated equipment, construction of a reinforced concrete equipment pad, installation of automatic transfer switches, electrical distribution upgrade, fuel storage, and delivery systems as appropriate. Security features, testing, commissioning, and final inspection. Once operational, the standby generator will automatically detect the loss of commercial power and transfer critical building systems to emergency power without requiring manual intervention. This capability will allow the essential building functions to continue operating throughout an outage, including heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems, interior and exterior lighting, communications equipment, security systems, refrigeration, designated electrical outlets for charging devices, and powering medical equipment, emergency operations space, and other life safety systems necessary to support shelter operations. The project will create a reliable emergency power source that enables the Silver Mesa Recreation Center to continue serving the public during disasters while reducing disruptions to emergency response and recovery operations. The investment also improves the city's long-term resiliency by protecting critical communication infrastructure against increasingly frequent and prolonged power disruptions. The total cost for the project would be $800,000, equipment $250,000, design engineering $350,000, construction $200,000, and $200,000 would be a cash match. That sums it up.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Thank you for taking us through that. That was a great presentation and explanation of your project, and we are super excited the City of North Las Vegas was able to enter this project for BRIC. With that, do we have any questions for the City of North Las Vegas? Okay, hearing none, that concludes our application presentations. I will go ahead then and close out agenda item number 5, and we will move on to agenda item number 6. Agenda item number 6, this is the BRIC state set aside funding applications, ranking and voting for FY24 and 25. This is for discussion, possible action. Chair Lafferty and her designee will lead the working group through a ranking of all applications in the state set aside funding category. Once ranked, the working group will vote on the ranked application list, which will be presented to the Chief of the Office of Emergency Management as our recommendation. We will now bring up the ranking sheet and rank the proposals provided under the state set aside, which again are the Washoe County Urban Avalanche Atlas, the City of North Las Vegas Emergency Shelter Standby Project, and the City of Henderson Regional Power Resilience Hub. Let me go ahead and Krista, do you want to go ahead and share the ranking sheet? Okay, so as before we began a consideration and ranking in the state set aside, I am going to go down and as a reminder to our sub applicants in the state set aside, we cannot exceed 1.9 million. And the lowest ranking proposal will be entered after all ranking into the national competition. So for state funding allocation, it would be great if we could fit all three projects into the state allocation, because this is where our guaranteed kind of funding streams are, and we don't have to compete at the national level. With that being said, with state management cost, which we are only taking 5% of our state of the 10% allotted, so that we have the most funding available to our sub applicants. That puts us at $2,008,750. So if we are able to reduce by $8,750, all three applications would be able to be submitted under the state set aside. So before we begin ranking, I'm just going to call out and go sub-applicant by sub-applicant to see if you are able to reduce or not. And then once that's completed, we will rank. And if we aren't able to reduce the last ranked application will just be submitted under the national competition. So for we will start with the City of Henderson. City of Henderson, for the Resilience Power Hub, are we able to reduce?
I am going to defer to Stacy from Finance for her thoughts, as well as Brad from our Public Works and Facilities, as he could maybe contribute some ideas towards the operation and design. So I'm going to turn it over to them if they don't mind making some comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was Christy Ciccatelli for the record.
Yes.
Brad Corbett, do you have any thoughts on how we can potentially, is there a possibility of decreasing any costs associated with that?
I'm pulling up the breakdown right now for the cost to see. I know the generator was overpriced, but I think we entered the lower cost estimate that we had. So if you give me just a sec, I'm going through now. I don't know if Stacy has anything first.
I'm also pulling up my records. Give me just a sec.
And I see a hand up from the, it looks like the City of North Las Vegas. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut in here. City of North Las Vegas will gladly give back that $8,750 out of the federal share.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, City of North Las Vegas. City of Henderson, then go ahead and disregard. We will, since the City of North Las Vegas is able to reduce by $8,750, we will then rank and vote for all three projects, and all three projects will be submitted under the state set aside, which will be really great for Nevada. These are excellent projects. And so with that, I will turn it over to Krista and let Krista take us through the ranking process. Krista?
Good morning, Krista for the record. I just want to make sure you can hear me. I know it's a little quiet in our room today.
Yes, we can hear you, Krista. I know you're projecting and we appreciate it.
Perfect. Okay, so as we conduct the ranking, you're going to see on the screen that we have the three applications, and we've got all of our members, and we're just going to go through and vote on those for your ranking. Remember, ranking number 1 is your highest priority and 3 is your lowest priority. So we're going to do a 1, 2, 3 from each member for each of the applications. So I know some folks are not here, but we're going to call each of the members who are part of this working group, and we will not have some votes for some and then votes for the others that are present. Stephen, are you here? DT Allen?
DT Allen here for the record. My ranking, A would be 3, B would be 1, and C would be 2.
Perfect, thank you. Eric? Salome?
Hello, Salome Barton for the record. A would be 3, B would be 2, and C would be 1.
Thank you. Rich?
Let's see. I gotta look at my sheet here. C would be 1. And give me a second. City of Las Vegas 2, and City of Henderson 2.
You've got 2 of them with number 2 there, Rich. City of Henderson or North Las Vegas number 2.
Both of them are 2. Oh, I have to switch. I have to choose. I have to go between 1 and 3. Okay, I see. That's why I was asking earlier. I was confused on how that works. So I say City of Henderson 3.
Perfect, thank you. Lisa?
I said City of Henderson 2, City of North Las Vegas 1, and Urban Avalanche 3.
Thank you. Matt?
I would put at 3.
Sorry, you broke up. I didn't catch that.
Oh, I'm sorry. A, I would put as 3.
Okay.
City of North Las Vegas, I would put as 2. And the Avalanche at 1.
Thank you. Jackie?
Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So for the city of Henderson, I ranked it as a 3. For city of North Las Vegas, I ranked as 2. And for the Washoe County Emergency Management, I ranked as 1.
Thank you. Sherry? Sarah?
Hello, Sarah Fickner. So for A, I put 3, B, I put 2, and C 1.
Thank you. Tim?
For A, I had 1. For B, I had 3. And for C, I had 2.
Thank you. Dawn?
Right, Dawn Johnson for the record. I have for A 3, B 2, and C 1.
Thank you. Heidi? Lainey? Cami?
Hello. I'm sorry, one moment. A3, B1, C2.
Thank you. Zach?
For A, I have 3. For B, I have 1. And C, I have 2.
Thank you. Andrew? And Heather?
Hi, Krista, I had, and just reconfirming, because I was losing track here. 1 is highest priority.
Correct. One is
Correct.
highest priority, three is lowest. So think of it like first, second, third place.
Third, okay, I'm just confirming. So for one, I had A is 1. B is 2. C is 3.
Thank you. So that is all of the votes. If there is anyone that should have voted that's here and didn't reply, just let me know real quick. We have Stephen, Eric, Sherry, Heidi, Lainey, and Andrew. If any of you are here, please let me know real quick. Which I don't expect, but okay, we're gonna take a no. So the voting rank wound up with C at number 1, B at number 2, and A at number 3. And then I will turn this back over to Heather.
Thank you. Now that we have ranked, will voting members, we are going to vote to confirm our state allocation ranking. And as a reminder, all of these applications are going to be submitted under the state set aside. And all of these are very strong applications. And so we do anticipate, hopefully, FEMA reviews and agrees with us, and all 3 will be funded. I will entertain a motion to approve state set-aside rankings.
Salome Barton, motion to approve rankings.
Thank you, Salome. Do I have a second?
Lisa Nash, I'll second.
Thank you, Lisa. We have a first by Salome and a second by Lisa. Let's take a vote. All in favor of approving the state set-aside, please say aye.
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 Thank you. Any opposed, say nay. Okay, hearing none. Are there any final questions or comments about the state set-aside proposal or rankings? Okay, hearing none. The state set-aside rankings are approved, and I will close out agenda item number 6 and move on to agenda item number 7. Krista, if we could bring up the national competition. This is Chair Lafferty again for the record. This is the BRIC National Competition Funding Application Ranking and Voting for FY 24-25 for discussion possible action. Chair Lafferty or her designee will lead the working group through ranking of all applications in the national competition funding category. Once ranked, the working group will vote on the ranked application list, which will be presented to the Chief of the Office of Emergency Management as our recommendation. We will now rank the proposal provided under the national competition, which is the Truckee River Flood Management Authority Vista Narrows Floodplain Terracing Project for Truckee River Flood Hazard Mitigation in Nevada. We will now go to our mitigation grants representative, Krista, to gather the ranking selections of each member for each project and present the results lowest to highest. Again, we only have one for this. And so for Krista, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Heather. Krista, for the record, so we'll move through this ranking the same way as the last, but for this one, since we only have the one applicant, as well as the next one coming up, you're going to rank either 0 or 1. So 0 is that you're not in favor of this moving forward, and 1 is in support. And then we'll run through each of the members again. So Stephen. DT Allen.
DT Allen for the record, 1.
Thank you. Eric. Salome.
Salome Barton for the record, 1.
Thank you. Rich.
Rich Kaler for the record, 1.
Thank you. Sorry, wrong line there. Lisa.
Lisa Nash for the record, 1.
Thank you. Matt.
Matt Williams for the record, 1.
Thank you. Jackie.
Jackie Conway for the record, 1.
Thank you. Sherry. Sarah.
I guess I'll give it a 1.
Thank you. Tim?
Tim Hill for the record, 1.
Thank you. Dawn?
Don Johnson for the record, 1.
Thank you. Heidi? Lainey? Cami?
Kincaid, 1.
Thank you. Zach?
Zach McCullough for the record, 1.
Thank you. Andrew? And Heather?
1.
Thank you. So we see that we are in support of this application to move forward. I'll pass it back over to Heather.
Thank you, Krista, and thank you, members, for your ranking. I will entertain a motion to approve the national competition rankings.
Lisa Nash, I'll move to approve the national competition rankings.
Thank you, Lisa. Do I have a second?
Sarah Fickner, I'll second.
Thank you, Sarah. We have a first by Lisa and a second by Sarah. Let's take a vote. All in favor of approving the ranking for the national competition, please say aye.
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 Thank you. Any opposed, please say nay. Okay, hearing none, are there any final questions or comments about the national competition proposal or ranking? No, with that, we have approved rankings, and I will close out agenda item number 7 for the national competition and move on to agenda item number 8, our final category of BRIC voting and ranking. This is for the BRIC Building Code Plus Up funding applications, ranking and voting for BRIC. Again, this is Chair Lafferty for FY 24-25. This is for discussion for possible action. Chair Lafferty, the State Hazard Mitigation Officer, or her designee will lead the working group through ranking of all applications in the Building Code Plus Up category. Once ranked, the working group will vote on a ranked application list, which will be presented to the Chief of the Office of Emergency Management as a recommendation. We will now rank the proposal provided under Building Code Plus Up, which is the Washoe County URM code enforcement. At this point, I will now turn it over to our mitigation grant representative, Krista, to take us through ranking. Krista?
Thank you, Heather. Krista, for the record again, we'll move through this one the same way. Again, vote 1 for support of this and 0 if you are not in support of this. So Stefan? DT?
DT Allen for record, 1.
Thank you. Eric? Salome?
Salome Barton for the record, 1.
Thank you. Rich?
Rich Kaler for the record, 1.
Lisa?
Lisa Nash for the record, 1.
Thank you. Matt?
Matt Williams for the record, 1.
Thank you. Jackie?
Jackie Conway for the record, 1.
Thank you. Sherry? Sarah?
Sorry, Sarah Fickner, 1.
Thank you. Tim?
Tim Hill for the record, 1.
Thank you. Dawn?
Don Johnson for the record, 1.
Thank you. Heidi? Lainey? Cami?
Cami Kincaid, 1.
Zach?
Zach McCullough for the record, 1.
Andrew? And Heather?
1.
Thank you. And we are again showing support for this application. Back to you, Heather.
Thank you, members, for your ranking. I will now entertain a motion to approve the Building Code Plus Up rankings.
Salome Barton, a motion to approve the Building Code Plus Up.
Don Johnson, second to approve the motion.
Thank you, Salome, and thank you, Dawn. We have a first by Salome and a second by Dawn. Let's take a vote. All in favor of approving the ranking and Building Code Plus Up, please say aye.
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 Thank you. Any opposed, please say nay. Note with the unanimous, the Building Code Plus Up is approved by the members. Are there any final questions or comments about the Building Code Plus Up proposal or rankings? No, with that, I will close out agenda number 8 and move on to agenda item number 9. Agenda item number 9, this is Chair Lafferty again for the record. This is the second period set aside for public comment. If you would like to make public comment by phone, please call in by dialing 669-219-2599. When you are prompted to enter a meeting ID, please enter 202-331-8963 and press pound. When prompted for a participant ID, please press pound. When asked to provide public comment, please press *6 to unmute yourself and *6 again when your comments are complete. One more time, if you would like to comment by phone, please call in by dialing 669-219-2599. When you are prompted to enter a meeting ID, please enter 202-331-8963 and press pound. When prompted for a participant ID, please press pound. When asked to provide public comment, please press *6 to unmute yourself and *6 again when your comments are complete. Does anyone on the Zoom platform have public comment? Hearing none, let's move on to the phone. If there's anyone on the phone that would like to make public comment, please remember to press *6 to unmute yourself and make your public comment at this time. Okay, I'm not hearing any further public comment, so I will close out agenda item number 9 and move on to agenda item number 10, everybody's favorite agenda item. This is Chair Lafferty again for the record. Agenda item number 10 is adjournment. This is for discussion or possible action. I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Rich Kaler, for the record, motion to adjourn.
Sarah Fickford, second.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Sarah. We have a first by Rich and a second by Sarah. Let's take a vote. All in favor of adjourning this meeting, please say aye.
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 Excellent. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Anybody say nay? Nope, motion passes unanimously, and that takes us through another round of BRIC. I do want to say thank you, everybody, for your time today. And rumor is BRIC 26 could be coming in a month or two, so we might